Yeah. So just testing to see if we can clear up the sound. Is that better? Excellent. Okay, that's great. Okay, excellent. We'll get started. Good evening, everybody. I call to order the Select Board meeting of Tuesday, March 3rd, 2026. The time is 7:14. Seeing a quorum of the Select Board present, we have Mr. Gito, Vice Chair Roberts, Mr. Carrera, Mr. McCrisky, and myself. I call the meeting to order. Please rise if you are able and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you so much. So we'll begin with citizens' comments. Is there a citizen that has a comment? Ms. Walsh.
Cynthia Walsh, 1096 Park Street. For people that were listening to their scanners last evening, as you can see, I'm alive and well. I want to thank the Stoughton Police for their due diligence in making sure that the citizens of Stoughton are healthy and safe. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other citizens' comments? Please join us.
Good evening. I'm Christopher McGee, the director of the Stoughton Public Library, joined by Christine Iacobucci, our outreach coordinator. We're here as we always are this time of year. This is the third time since we've relaunched our Stoughton Reads Together. So we're here to talk about Stoughton Reads Together and to announce the book. I always like to start by just a little reminder that Stoughton Reads Together and generally community reads in general have to do more with more than just promoting reading. That's always, the goal of the library. The number one goal is to promote reading and literacy, but community reads are really more than that. They really are intended to promote camaraderie and community and just giving a shared topic of conversation. So in addition to picking great books that we hope that people will read and enjoy, we do a lot of programming and events surrounding the themes that are in the book with the idea that everyone in the community, whether they are 5 years old or 50 years old, can participate in a shared conversation around those topics. So we're here to announce the book today. People have been asking us everywhere we go, which is very nice, that we've built up enough interest in this program, this event, that people now, everywhere we go, they want to know what is the book for this year. And we've been saying, we can't tell you, it's super secret, it's sealed, but we're here to tell you today. And so I will turn over to my colleague and allow her to introduce the topic of the book this year.
Hi, everyone. I feel like every time I come before you, I always say I'm super excited about whatever it is I'm talking about. So I really, again, I'm super excited about about Stoughton Reads Together. So this year's title is called The Widow's War by Sally Gunning. You each have a copy there. Oh, you're welcome. And the book is about, it's set down the Cape in 1761, and it follows the main character, Liddy Berry, and she's a young widow whose husband actually tragically dies whaling. So he died at sea, and then upon his death, Liddy finds out that his will actually basically passes her on to her son-in-law, essentially, right? That time in life. And so then she figures out that there's a loophole in the will, and she can keep like minimal amount of property. I think it's like 1/3 of use of the house, use of a cow, things of that nature, very minimal. But she decides to give it a go anyways. And the community and everybody really don't like that, right? A woman actually doing things on her own is, unheard of. So basically, the novel gives a vivid look at the daily life in colonial Massachusetts, while exploring themes that still resonate today, such as economic security, gender equality, resilience, and the courage to challenge long-standing systems. Because it's set down the Cape and has strong ties to regional history, this book provides a meaningful opportunity for our community to reflect on the shared past while engaging in some timely conversations. If you take a time to look at the brochure, obviously now's not, you don't have a ton of time, but there is a brochure that speaks to all the programs that we have coming up. We have one on how to raise chickens that Cynthia is very excited about. And a historical presentation from a Mashpee Wampanoag historian. And again, we've partnered with town departments to offer some different programming. The Fix It Clinic is actually part of Stoughton Reads Together, even though I didn't tell you that last time I was here. We're partnering with the Historical Society, where they obviously have items from this time period that we want people to go visit and see. And the rec department's offering a paint night. So we have lots of fun things, and we hope everybody comes. And to encourage participation of all ages, like in years past, we have a children's book as well. It's called Homespun Sarah by Verla Kay and Ted Rand. And it just speaks to the time period, things that a child would be doing in that time, such as raising chickens and making their own clothes and all that type of stuff. Programs for the children are actually Old Sturbridge Village is going to come to the library and provide programming. And the finale of all the Stoughton Reads Together activities is a trip to Old Sturbridge Village on April 29th. I'm super eager. I love Old Sturbridge Village, so I have a very old soul, apparently. But a full list of the programs can be found on our website and our event calendar. The books themselves can be found in the lobby of the first floor of the library on a display and on the free Libby and Hoopla apps. So we're really excited, again, to bring Stoughton Reads Together to the community, and hope all of you and the residents at home come as well. So
We should also mention that the registration for these events is actually already open. So we
yes.
sort of soft opened it at the beginning of the month, even though we hadn't officially announced the title yet. They do fill up very quickly. So that I anticipate that Old Sturbridge Village trip to fill up really quickly. So if anyone is interested, go to our website and go to our calendar and register for those right away, because the children's events too, those
Yep.
it's almost instant that they'll fill up.
Yeah, the embroidery program's already. I tried. I couldn't find anyone. Actually, the people that do it, it's super, super expensive. But I definitely wanted that.
We have soap making, Scott, so that
Yeah.
we have soap making. That's the best we could do.
Yeah, so you can come make handmade soap. Yeah, so thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Sorry, I didn't have my mic on. So we'll just, yes, Ms. Walsh.
Mr. Chairman, after my repeated criticisms, I wanted to recognize the fact that as I arrived tonight, they were actually an employee, I think it might be Arthur, was salting the ramp and the stairs. So I thank you for your kind attention to that, and him too.
Of course, of course. So my mic wasn't on, but I just wanted to say that we're going to take a 5-minute recess. We'll be back shortly. Okay, are you guys able to hear us in the Great Hall? Okay, great. So, good evening, everybody. I call back to order the Select Board meeting, Stoughton Select Board meeting of Tuesday, March 3rd, 2026. The time is 7:35. We're going to move on to the next couple of items on the agenda. We may have to take another short break for a public hearing that starts at 8 o'clock. But for the time being, let's work through the next item, which is Select Board comments. Start with Mr. McCrisky.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Unfortunately, I'd have two death announcements from members of our community. On February 21st, 2026, Mildred Millie Louise Drake Foss passed away. She was born in July 1931, was a lifelong resident of Stoughton. Millie was the daughter of the late Helen White Berggren of Stoughton, who, if anybody has been a townie, will remember Helen from Dorothy Jean's Bakery for years. And she married Arthur Clan Foss Jr., who passed away in 1993, and she was, they said, lucky to have two lives and two wonderful husbands. Millie is survived by her three children. First marriage, Gary Thomas and his wife Cindy Parks Thomas of Situate, Wayne Thomas and his wife Linda of Stoughton, who everybody knows from Deacon Plumbing, and her daughter Cheryl. These go on and on everything, but Millie, and I'm going to go into, was so active in our town. Everybody knows, years and years on town meeting. She was an election official. She was a state national elections in the 60s. She was a long-serving member of the Stoughton Historical Society, as we know, and she was a heck of a fundraiser. She ran events and committees on the society right through to 2010. And she will be sadly missed, and a real dedicated townie. And also Mary Teresa Cotter, and Mary Cotter, 71. She was very active in the school system. She was the daughter of the late Teresa Cotter and Joseph. And she is, 1972, was inducted into the Stoughton High School Hall of Fame. She earned an associate's degree at Massachusetts Community College, Massasoit, I'm sorry, in Brockton, and she was the head of security for different companies in Rhode Island before moving to Kraft Group in Foxborough. Mary's longtime season ticket holder, and if anybody knew her, she looked like she was ready for the next game whenever she was taking her walks, always in her athletic gear up and down Canton Street. And she was a sister of Richard Dick Cotter and his wife Sandra of Dennis, Richard Bismore and her longtime partner Skip Bell of Manchester, New Hampshire, and most people will remember her brother Bill Cotter, very active in Stoughton youth sports, coaching, town employee as well for a lot of years in the maintenance division. Again, she passed away on February 27th. So if my colleagues and the residents of Stoughton will join me in a moment of silence for these two very dedicated Stoughton residents and offer our condolences to their passing and to their families. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. McCrisky. Mr. Carrera, do you have any comments for tonight?
I have nothing.
Thank you so much. Vice Chair Roberts,
I have no comments, Mr. Chairman.
thank you. Mr. Gito,
Yes. On a positive note, thank you very much. I was able to get up the stairs tonight. I echo what Ms. Walsh said. That was very helpful. It's not easy to get around as one gets to my age. I sent something to the town manager relative to the financial report, the policy report, and it was to say the report itself is really good, and it's very necessary, but there's a part of it that is missing, and that part is how that ties back into what the vision and the goals are for the town, and how to involve the town in the process of putting together the budget and taking into account the citizens' needs and desires. And not to do a heck of a lot with that report aside from putting in sort of a forward to it that ties that back into the greater goal of really connecting with the people in the town. That's something that I have tried to do. I have not been at all successful. I'm leaving, having failed in that and probably a number of other things while on this board. And many people would say for very good reason. And I can accept that. If you don't mind, I would like to say, let us reflect on what happened in the last half hour here. We started the meeting, and then we stopped it for about 15 or 20 minutes. The SMAC, I believe, is broadcast live. If people are at home and want to watch the meeting, they watch a blank screen for half an hour or 20 minutes. Is that really what we want to project? I'm just throwing that out because I think it's important to think about that. Are we trying to connect with the people in the town, or are we not? Last night at town meeting, we had an article to close out the VNA operations, and that I agree with that. As a matter of fact, I talked with the town manager when he first came on board. In 2022, I talked with the head of the VNA and Mark about the fact that there was a huge deficit in that program, that the program was basically competing with a lot of other things that were going on in the healthcare field that were not going on in the 1890s to 1910s. We heard last night that we were one of 2 communities that had a VNA program. So we're sort of lost out in that and plan to be one of the first towns in. I mean, Milton is right next to Boston. So, I mean, you could almost just consider it like Roxbury or some other parts of the city. So what I heard was that we are going to have a public meeting at the end of April to describe to the town in detail what it is that the new mobility health program or whatever is going to be, and how it's going to be funding, what services are really going to be provided, and so on. And there are a lot of questions that need to be dealt with there. But you have to consider, in the context of where we are at town meeting and where the finance committee is, which is the body that reviews all of the items for the annual town meeting, is in terms of what it will know, because some of that discussion putting that together hasn't occurred. So are we saying that the finance committee is going to rubber stamp something and just the book is probably going to be prepared by the time that the hearing is? So just, I mean, think about it just a little bit. I mentioned at the last meeting, getting back to thinking ahead in terms of what things are really important in the town in the longer run. We have a police station that needs to come online, and we have a middle school that has to come online. We would, if we were to present to the town a middle school like the one that we have that was built or added on to 25 or more years ago with modular construction and putting people in the basement to have some of their activities, we would be run out of town. So when we take money and have a special town meeting for that includes many of the things that we are generally put into the annual town meeting, we're basically taking $2 to $3 million out of the opportunity to fund some of those longer term things and putting them basically into the base of the budget for future years. I said before, I don't think that's a good strategy. And I'm saying that sort of in the context of what are we saying to the people? How are we bringing them in? And how do things fit together? I don't mean to be a pain in the tail, but these things do really bother me. And I think that they bother more than me. People are having a hard time dealing with government. I mean, we're in a war now that we didn't think we were in a week ago. I mean, I don't know quite what to say about that. But it's just, it is a symptom of the times. And I know that I'm very old. I try to read and keep up with things. I mean, I'm not totally technically illiterate. I'm certainly am not as smart as many of the other people here. But I guess I'd sort of caution us to think about some of these things. And to get on to another topic that we haven't done, we have not, in the last 3 years, had an evaluation of the town manager, which we're supposed to do. I mean, I just say this because it's really important. These things are important in terms of connecting with the town. And I'm going to be saying adios, and a lot of people will say good riddance, and that's fine. But a community is like reading together. It's like pulling people together. And some of the things that we're doing doesn't seem to me that we're doing that. And I hope that people do that more than I've been able to do in terms of getting that point across. That's all I have to say.
Thank you very
Thank
much. So I only have one comment for the evening, just as a reminder for anybody who wasn't aware, there's a town meeting last night, special town meeting. There are 3 articles. One was to dissolve the enterprise account for the B&A. The nurses will continue to operate in the town with a slightly different mission underneath the oversight of the emergency management fire chief, or emergency manager, fire chief of Mike Carroll. Additionally, there was an article to move $3.3 million from one project, which is the Stoughton High School project, into the new elementary school project. That was actually based on a commitment that the select board made in March of 2025, so a little bit less than a year ago. I think it was March 12th that the select board voted to. At that point, we thought it was closer to $2 million. To move that into the project in order to save the taxpayers the borrowing costs of that money, and it was 3.3, which was wonderful. And the last article was some additional funding for the outside of the train station. All of them. I usually write down the numbers. I didn't write them down last night, but if I'm not mistaken, they all passed overwhelmingly. I want to say that I don't think any more than 3 or 4 people voted against any of the articles. I could be mistaken, but it was quite decisive. I'm grateful to the wisdom of town meeting. Sometimes it's a very frustrating process. It's a very long and frustrating process. But at the end of the day, I think they do a really good job and they get it right. And it's probably worth all of the time and work that goes into it. We aren't always as nimble as I would like to be, but I think we do a really excellent job, and that wouldn't be possible without the dedication of town meeting representatives. Showing up in March to a special town meeting was above and beyond. It was very. I was grateful to the seriousness with which they took the articles, and I also wanted to express gratitude to the Finance Committee who heard these articles, and I think they also voted unanimously on all of them, or maybe all except for one. There might be an abstention here or there. The work of the chair and the vice chair, as well as the I think it's clerk, is the clerk of the Finance Committee, Mark Struck, the vice chair, Becca Markson, and Chair Carolyn Campbell have really done an excellent job, and the town moderator Bob Mullen was excellent last night, and I appreciate the work that he's put into keeping everything moving forward. So that was it. I was trying to chew up a little time there, but I also am sincerely grateful for all that work. Mr. McCrisky.
Mr. Chairman, if you would indulge me, I read the 2 obituaries, but I did have a comment that I forgot to add. Personal observation last night at town meeting, and I just was appalled and sickened, embarrassed all at the same time. And the name is irrelevant, but to see a Stoughton resident who berated Congressman Stephen Lynch in the hall of town meeting. And I just, that's not the place for politics on, yelling and putting your finger in the face of a sitting congressman who, for the record, has been there for Stoughton every chance he's been asked. And he delivered $1 million to get the train station done when we didn't get any support from the state at that time. Congressman Lynch has been here. We've sat in meetings in that room where we've talked about the needs of Stoughton. He has been a champion for the town of Stoughton. Now, party politics doesn't have anything to do when you have a sitting congressman that takes an active role. He has very key people that even live here that we all know. And I was just appalled. I mean, I was sickened to hear her talking like two kids on a playground, the way you would yell at somebody. And it's not about that individual person. You know, if you're a town elected body, town meeting or whatever, decorum, professionalism, you know, class, you know, and it's just getting nastier and nastier, the way people that lash out, the way that personalities clash over literally the dumbest things. We look at Facebook and it's just not, it's not fact-based. You know, it's everybody's opinion. And then people go, it's not, you're going back and forth there. But I just think it was just, I've been here a long time and I've never, ever seen such a classless act by somebody that knows better, you know, and I did myself apologize to the congressman. Sorry you had to put up with that, you know, but everybody has rights. We know that, but sometimes rights and class are not the same thing, you know, so I just had to say something. If that person is watching, you know, most likely is, I just think that person embarrassed the citizens of Stoughton last night. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. From the opportunity I had to work in the past, as you mentioned, in that room with Stephen Lynch, there's only one person I know who can compete with him for taking serious notes. It's Mr. Carrera. Both are. I was amazed at how engaged Congressman Lynch was. You know, it came in and really gave us his full attention, and has done remarkable work to help us along the way. Okay, so the last item on this agenda before we get to the consent agenda is town manager's comments.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and through you to the board. Well, I won't address it point by point. I want to tell Mr. Gito that I understand and I appreciate much of what he said. We can always do better in terms of our community communication. I think perhaps I'm most influenced by my time in the legislature. Joe just spoke of decorum. I think town hall staff works very hard to communicate. We hold information sessions on important issues and stand up here for 2.5 hours and answer questions of anybody who asks them. We have another information session set up precisely for the VNA, well before the new fiscal year starts when this takes effect. But most importantly, when I talk about decorum, I really mean process. The Finance Committee and town meeting play very impactful, meaningful roles in government operations. The budget, for instance, started in December, where you considered the budget and voted the budget. You gave us guidance. We prepared it pursuant to your guidance. We gave you a budget that was all footnoted and had 2 meetings to field questions and get responses, and that was a very collaborative process. It then goes to the Finance Committee. And at that point in time, Mark and Biz and Heidi and I, as recently as today, met for 3 hours to review funding sources and the finance team's recommendation as to how to pay for everything. Rather than doing that in a vacuum, we set up the meeting with the people you mentioned today, with Carolyn, with Mark, and with Becca at 6 o'clock for tomorrow night. Purely to communicate about funding sources, cash flow, debt, free cash, revenues, and the like. And through that process, we'll walk out as one. And then it's in their hands. It's out of my hands. It's out of your hands. It's in the hands of the FinCom and then eventually the legislative body, which is town meeting. And our work is essentially done. But it hasn't been without a great deal of effort in communicating where we are. Why wouldn't we? The municipal side of Stoughton town government is as frugal and as conservative as any town budget you will find in Massachusetts right now. If you take away the impact of VNA being incorporated in the budget, it's a 3% budget. We've got 27 fewer employees than we had 3 years ago. We've got $20 million in our savings accounts. We've got a 5-year capital plan. We're paying for our smaller capital projects up to $300,000 this year with cash, no debt. It's extraordinary. I've run businesses my whole career, never one as healthy as the town of Stoughton is right now. That didn't happen by accident. And it didn't happen without a great deal of communication and collaboration with the other people who have their thumb on the scale of Stoughton business, which is the FinCom. This past week, two other events. Last night, it was every night of the week in meetings. This week, it's every night of the week in meetings, communicating. I didn't need to have to be at the Board of Health meeting, neither did Mark. But we were there to explain what a minor major modification versus a major modification is, and to explain the impact, long-term impact trash has on this community. And to make people aware that to do nothing, which is an option, will likely result in a 300% increase in trash within 3 years. It would be so easy to not communicate about that. For me personally, I'll be gone in 3 years when the problem hits, when the clouds and the skies open up. But you pay me to plan, to organize, to communicate, and that's what we're doing. In fact, I don't even need permission to go to the side loaders. You're a strong town manager form of government, but we over communicate, and I take slings and arrows every night about it. And that's okay. That's what you pay me for. And then last Saturday, we had 130 citizens at the newly opened community center asking their support to do the outside. We didn't need their support. I knew the $1 million was coming from Steve Lynch, but it won't come soon enough to start in time for June 13th. So that's why we went to CPC, and we disclosed that to everybody in attendance the other day. So there's no secrets. We laid off 8 people from the VNA to get to break even. Those are hard decisions, and we communicated with every single one of those people impacted by that layoff individually because they were key employees. I guess all I'd say to you, Lou, is there's a tremendous amount of communication that goes on every single minute of every single day, including with the congressman this morning, that isn't public knowledge. And if it's not reaching everybody, then we should evaluate that and figure out how to do better. But it's not this board's role to intervene on the business of the FinCom. And it's not this board's role or your town manager's role to politic around the FinCom or politic around the schools to get to town meeting. That would be disingenuous, it would be dishonest, and it would be disruptive. As Joe McCrisky likes to point out, we now have, because of particularly Mr. Cavey's work and also Deborah's work, a wonderful working relationship with the school system. That didn't happen by accident. That happened with a tremendous amount of communication. We're now getting a new school that failed in this town because of a high level of communication and collaboration. And I can tell you that every member of my senior team, starting with Mr. Tisdale, the work he's doing in terms of organizing the town meeting warrant, the level of communication that goes on with dozens of people every day to make it go off is extraordinary. And the reason for the special town meeting, the special within the special, is because of the time sensitivity that was associated with all 3 of those articles. Now, nobody would have approved that. Not this board, not the moderator, not unanimously by the FinCom, or get a quorum last night if we didn't communicate with everyone that had to be there to understand the time sensitivity of each of those articles. So, Lou, I started this off by saying, I agree with you and I hear you. We always need to do better in communication. I own that and I'll never lose sight of that. But I think perhaps not everybody's aware of the level of intense, detailed communication that goes on every single day, internally, externally, with state government, with the federal government. $1 million just didn't fall from the sky. Neither did the $2 million that came from the state fall from the sky. Without that, we wouldn't have a community center. And the community center will drive exactly what it is you're seeking. People coming together and talking and listening and planning. But I do want to remind everybody, when you do my evaluation, the thing I would expect to score the lowest on is for me to stay in my lane. I have a tendency to plow through to achieve an objective no matter who gets in the way. And that's not healthy. And Steve has been a great coach in preventing me from doing that. The alternative is to work with people, communicate, collaborate, appreciate, and achieve the objectives. And I can tell you it doesn't end with me. Mark Tisdale every day demonstrates his commitment to overly communicate with everybody. In HR, with our council and our labor council and our labor unions. If we don't work with our labor unions every single day, we will be in court every single day. It's just incredible to me that we can't do enough to please everybody. And I'm sorry about that. During that 3-day snowstorm, I bet I was on the phone, if not here, or on the phone for 80 hours that week. So was Mark. Paul Jaffoon, probably 120 hours, communicating with our citizens. What I experienced, I'll close here, Mr. Chairman. What I experienced was the most extraordinary example of teamwork. An ambulance went to pick up a member of the finance committee's wife who fell and broke her hip, couldn't get in. Within a minute, DPW plow truck was there to pave a way for the ambulance to get in and out of the neighborhood. After that happened, the police gave them an escort to the hospital. The police car got stuck in a snowbank and the tow truck from DPW was there. This all happened within 7 minutes, came to pull them out. That didn't happen once. That happened a dozen times. And it was just beautiful to watch this team work in harmony with our citizens. So, Lou, I want you to know, I've said to this since the day I've met you, I get a great deal of information and deep thought from listening to you. Always have. And I am right now. But I just think I need to do a better job of sharing with you and let us do it before your last day on all the things that are going on that I think will make you very proud. I'd love the opportunity to buy you lunch and do that. And thank you for listening to me.
Great. Thank you very much for your comments. We're going to skip the consent agenda right now. I want to get into the public hearing because we do have an applicant waiting who's been very patient and very understanding about it all. So the public hearing was set to start at 8 o'clock. That's why we needed to buy a little time. This is an application for a common vicular license for 5-star franchises MA-10 LLC, doing business as Jersey Mike Subs at 106 Sharon Street. As is our custom here, this public hearing will be overseen by our Vice Chair, Deborah Roberts. Can make all comments through her as the acting chair. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The process will be, I'll read the hearing into the record. I'll accept a motion from the board to open the public hearing. I'll describe the responses from the department heads. The select board will ask you questions. Of course, you will summarize why you're here. The citizens will ask questions of you. Then I'll ask for a motion to close the public hearing, and then the select board will vote on the application, yea or nay. First things first, read into the record. A public hearing will be held by the select board on March 3rd, 2026 at 8 p.m. to consider the application for the common vic license of Five Star Franchise MA-10 LLC, doing business as Jersey Mike's Sub, located at 106 Sharon Street, Stoughton, Massachusetts, 02072. The hearing will be conducted at the Great Hall, 3rd floor, Town Hall, 10 Pearl Street, Stoughton, Mass., and/or virtually and via Google Meets, and may be broadcast via Stoughton Media Access Television and live stream. Google Meets video link and telephone connection for public comment available by calling the Select Board office at 781-341-1300, extension 9212, or email to gpereira@stoughton-ma.gov, per order of Steve Cavey, Select Board, acting as the local licensing authority. I'll accept a motion to open the public hearing, please.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And I vote aye as well. So we've all reviewed the documents that are attached to your request. I would like to summarize the responses from our departments heads. Fire Department approved. The Water Department approved. The Building Department approved. The Police Department approved. Collectors approved. And the Board of Health approved. Wait just 1 second, please. I want to make sure that I have captured everything. And that is true. There are no comments from the department or additional recommendations. Now I turn it to, can you please state your name, sir, and your relationship to Jersey Mike?
My name is Brian O'Loughlin. I'm the owner operator of the location. Oh, the mic's off. All right. Yeah, my name's Brian O'Loughlin. I'm the owner operator of the Jersey Mike's. This is our 10th location in Massachusetts. So we have a couple locations in the neighboring towns, but we do not own the other one in Stoughton on Washington Street. So, yeah.
Well, that's great. I believe we're familiar with Jersey Mike's.
Yeah.
So let me turn it to our select board members to see if they have any questions for you in relation to your application. I see Mr. McCrisky has raised his hand. Mr. McCrisky.
Thank you, Madam Vice Chair. Just a quick question on, it's irrelevant, but it just knowledge-based, is your employee base. And we're a Stoughton business. Will you be doing local advertising for employment opportunities and such?
Definitely. We use Indeed, but we have a bunch of actually Stoughton High students that are already employed with us,
Okay,
along
great.
with, the neighboring towns as well. But definitely.
Right, and I did, like you came in with a bang in support of Stoughton High School music program. And
Yeah,
I saw the coupons, and that was a great thing to help your business, but with a great cause going to the kids, and making some funds available for their music program and so forth. It was a great thing. So my congratulations to you, and welcome to town.
Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other questions or comments? I see Mr. Carrera may want to have a comment.
I don't have any questions of you. I just want to echo what Joe says. Thank you for what you did for the schools, because I had a couple people tell me what you had done. So that was very nice.
Yeah, happy to do it. We'll be doing more as well. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other questions?
Yes.
Chairman
I'll be
Cavey,
very
go
brief.
ahead.
I'm really impressed with the application, and you've done everything. It's probably one of the easiest yeses you're ever going to get. So really excellent work, and I appreciate you coming into town, picking Stoughton as a place that you'd like to do business.
Yeah, thank you. Happy to be here.
And I concur with what everyone else is saying. Welcome to the community, and you do great things. But before we go on and before I close this public hearing, let's hear from the citizens. And I see Mrs. Walsh has her hand raised. Mrs. Walsh.
Thank you for allowing me to speak first. I had an opportunity to speak to the applicant, and because of the location, they also, the promotion benefited Canton and Sharon children too, because of their unique location so close to the three communities. And I complimented him on that. As a former teacher, I wasn't particularly musically inclined, but I know that all of the extracurricular activities that we have really rely on community support. And it was good to see a business supporting them too. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Walsh. Are there any questions? Oh,
Before we close meeting, I would also like to say welcome. But I didn't have any questions.
Thank you.
any questions from online? I don't see anyone. Okay. A motion to close the public hearing. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, as well. A motion on the application? All in favor?
Aye.
And I vote aye as well. Easy peasy,
Thank you.
right?
Thank you. Thanks for
Welcome
your time.
aboard to our community.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. I hand the. Back to you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Madam Vice Chair. The next item on the agenda is our consent agenda. There's 3 items. I think at least one of them I'd like to pull. I think C probably should be pulled for the time being. Is there are there any other items on this agenda that people have questions about or would like to pull?
No, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, seeing none, is there a motion? So let me just read. Okay, go right ahead. I'm just going to actually read the consent agenda real quick and then
Go ahead.
it's all yours. So we have 3 items. A, approval of open session minutes, meeting of February 3rd, 2026. B, application for the 14th annual Narragansett Summer Running Festival on July 12th, 2026. And there's a rain date of July 19th, 2026. And item C is a call for the April 7th, 2026, a local election / ballot. Mr. Carrera.
Through you, Mr. Chairman, to the manager. I was reading on the road race that they have a 7:15 to 10:30 window for the detail. I hope you will impress them that the union says whether it's 4 hours, it's 4 hours. 1 minute beyond the 4 hours becomes 8.
8 hours, right?
So I just thought that was kind of, I don't want to say coy, but it was a little coy. Just let them know they're paying.
I'll bring that to the chief's attention, Scott. Good catch. Thank you.
Of course, thank you very much.
Motion to approve, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, so this is a motion to approve items A and B. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you very much. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Passes unanimously. The next item is a call for the April 7th, 2026 election. Is there a motion to approve? Is there a second? I'll second it. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
I abstain.
I abstain.
I'm getting there. So all in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions?
2.
2.
Okay, perfect. That is Vice Chair Roberts and Mr. Carrera. Okay, so that concludes our agenda.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn was made by Vice Chair Roberts, seconded by Mr. Carrera. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? The time is 8:20. Everyone have a wonderful evening.